Alright, first and foremost, you're gonna have to forgive me. First video, so I'm using notes. They're written on an envelope. First and foremost, one of the hugest issues I have when I hear these debates is a bunch of their assumptions are based, they would call them facts, I call them assumptions, or craziness if you want to go that far. But they assume purpose. They assume that their God put us here for some reason, that we're his children that he loves, and that us, these little specks on another speck, in this huge galaxy, in this huge universe, in this possible multiverse, that he cares about this one little speck, that he gave purpose to us. First and foremost, even if there is a God, that assumption right there is one of the most egotistical things I've ever heard come out of a Christian's mouth. To have the audacity to think that highly of yourself, that highly of the human race as a species, is just, I don't know. I don't understand it personally. Alright. Here's another thing. The whole universe from nothing. Okay. We understand the universe had a beginning. That's not only, it's known now. We can measure the echoes of the Big Bang, sorry. And we're getting closer to the exact moment that the universe sprang into existence, when all the dimensions that we have, whether you believe it's 4 or 11, they sprang into existence. The forces of nature, just everything that makes up our universe. All right. Now, in science, you purport evidence. You give an equation. You give empirical fact and empirical evidence that these things happened. Now, if someone can show me an equation that says, hey, there's God, this shows it, I'll believe you. Why? Because math is a universal language. It is clear-cut throughout the entire planet. Whether you speak Arab, Chinese, hundreds of Asian languages they have, Spanish, it doesn't matter. Numbers and math are always the same. No one uses different math. So it's likely that we can rely on this to explain our universe. That is why, me personally, I believe in a mathematical equation, such as the multiverse theory, which, that's shown simply in math. It's not something we can actually measure as of right now, anyway. It's just, when they say the universe came from nothing, okay? Now, you guys say that it had to have been a creator. Okay. The cause and effect thing. If there's an effect happened, there had to be a cause. For you, God is this cause. But now the whole nothing, it's difficult to explain, but go read Lawrence Krauss's book. It's very enlightening. Just take some time, educate yourself. Alright. The fine-tuned argument. Okay, now that's... okay. Just because, once again, like I said earlier in the video, we are one speck on a speck in this galaxy, in this universe, okay? As far as we know, now, I personally, myself, believe that we are not the only intelligent species in this universe. If it happened once, it's possible that it can happen again, whether it be billions and billions of light years beyond our reach as of right now. The universe is huge. Who knows? I can't prove that there isn't. The same way I can't prove that there is no God. But that doesn't mean... it's highly probable that there isn't one. Okay? There's no evidence for one. Right? Now, this fine-tuned thing. The universe is fucking chaotic. Okay? There is always something exploding. There are things dying all the time. As Hitchens said multiple times, 99.9% of the species that have lived on this planet, just this one, have completely died out, gone extinct. Okay? Do you really think that that's some intelligent design, some sort of plan? Who the hell? Like, you're in a business, people try and cut their losses, okay? If you were running a business and 99.9% of the things that you put out, whatever kind of business you are, the things that you did, the people you consulted, if all that failed, would you consider that an intelligent design? Would you consider that running a good business? So, once again, as Hitchman said, if this place is intelligently designed, then he's a lazy fuck. Like, hands down. And he fucking can't be thinking right. I mean, 99.9, that's just, that right there. As far as finally, I mean, if this universe was as finely tuned as everyone says it was, why is this the only planet in our suburbs that has any life on it? Our entire solar system, we can't live on. Unless, later on in the future we're able to terraform these things. But either way, we'd be making it into a planet like Earth that we can live on. Even on our planet itself, I mean, extreme hots, extreme colds, there's places we can't live on our own planet. How is that finely tuned? I mean, if anything, we'd have, virtually infinite resources on this planet, and every aspect of the planet would be livable. I mean, it would make sense. Populations grow, and, your God intelligently designed this. Wouldn't he know this? I mean, on top of the fact that our entire universe is on a fucking one-way trip to death. Really? Really? Whatever. Alright, morality. Now, a lot of people use evolution to explain an objective morality. And while I do agree with that on some level, of course, there's things we don't do as a civilization, that will help us carry on. If everyone's out in the street killing everybody, that's, our species isn't going to go anywhere. Okay? Self-preservation. That's one thing. But now, I also believe that morality it's relative. Don't get me wrong. I do believe that everybody has this innate sense of some sort of morality. Unless you're like a psychopath or something. But alright, for example, killing is wrong. We know this. I'm not going to go outside and murder the neighbors. I don't know who the fuck they are, okay? I don't care about them enough to want to go kill them. But regardless, I'm not just going to go out there because, for what reason? You don't just go out and kill someone. How do I know that? Because first and foremost, there's consequences. Morality, in my opinion, is knowing the consequences to your actions. Now, psychopaths, they don't give a fuck about them. They don't care. They don't care about what happens to that person. They don't care about really what happens to themselves. But you just, that's something you just don't go and do. But, on the other hand, when we go to war, which, I don't support every war, but I do believe it's part of human nature. Sometimes you gotta handle shit, But when you go to war, killing's okay. Alright. It's relative. I mean, that's your enemy. Now it's okay to kill. But it's not okay for me to go outside and murder someone. It's relative morality. There's certain things that have been built in us through evolution, and then there's other things that have evolved socially. Like, one example. All men are created equal. Of course. I mean, I would never look at a black person, look at a Mexican person and be like, you're lower than me because I'm this race. That's just, on what basis, on what grounds am I allowed to make that statement? You're just not. And that evolved socially. I mean, people didn't know it back further. Either that or they were just ignorant to it. And it's funny that a lot of Christians, don't get me wrong, there were Christians, mostly Baptists, the whole Martin Luther King thing, understand, but he did have secularists as well. And, on the flip side of that, though, like, there was we'll give a few Christians that were against slavery. And sorry, not against segregation. Now, on the flip side, almost the entire South, okay, almost the entire South, Christian hardcore, okay, and they were, God says this. God says that we have dominion over them. Who the hell are you to say shit like that? Next. Oh, those people that get their morality from the Bible? Seriously? Really? Your morality from the Bible? The same book that is completely okay with, God telling you to just kill people for no reason now. Just go take their shit. Dude, come on. Morality, the 10 Commandments, like the first 3 he spends telling you not to go cheat on him. Seriously. That's what he deems more important than murder, lying, like, seriously. Stealing. It just seems a bit petty. It just seems like this all-powerful being has, some pretty human emotions, which would lead into the fact that, we created gods. Gods did not create us. They were coping mechanisms for us. Before we had science, before we could understand the world around us, it was something that it was, for lack of a better word, our security blanket. Something we can hold on to. Like, this volcano's erupting. It must be a god. He's angry at us. Okay, that helps you sleep at night. Cool. But this is the 21st century now. We have this cool thing called science. And see, what science does is it lets us know that volcano that's erupting is caused by shifts in tectonic plates and whatnot. Not Lord Volcanus being angry at, for some ridiculous reason. Because if you notice, gods always have the most ridiculous reasons to get pissed off at shit. Like, seriously. What else? Creationism. I don't even know where to begin with this one. Okay? These people, now mind you, I understand there's only a certain percentage of you Christians out there that are fundamentalists, okay? Because in order to be a creationist, it's almost essentially the same thing. Okay, they believe the Bible with the utmost, just literally, like what they read is the truth. Hands down. I was watching this video, The Collision with Hitchens. Can't remember the other guy's name. He was a rabbi. But the way he put it is actually much more acceptable. For those people, like, listen, from creationism, okay, I don't even want to turn you, I don't even want to try and make you believe that a God doesn't exist. Because if you're as far back in your mental faculties as creationism, as taking the Bible literally, like, to the word, then I'm not even going to try to get you to make that leap yet. But here, just make a tiny leap with me, okay? Most, people that aren't fundamentalists, they believe that the mechanism in which God used to create us was evolution. Fine, okay? At least you're not trying to teach children in school that the world was created in 6 days. Alright? That's fine with me. Now, don't remember. Oh well, let's get that. As far as the whole free will thing, I believe that, people say, why do we have free will? Who gave it to us? I could always go the Hitchens route and say, we have no choice. But if I had to, make my mind think about some reason, if I had to give some reason on why we have free will, I would just think it was just the next step in our evolutionary path, because just the same way, our bodies evolve, our brain is part of that. Our brain has evolved as we've gotten more intelligent. So who's to say that free will isn't just something, our consciousness, it may not be something that we can, grab and measure, but who's not to say that it hasn't evolved from our brain? I mean, I guess in certain things, I would be called a materialist, because I don't believe that if your brain's not working, that you're conscious. Okay, I don't believe you have a consciousness. If, there's no synapses firing, you're not there. When people die, I don't believe that, that, consciousness or soul or spirit, as other people want to call it, I don't believe that that comes out of your body. I mean, I believe that energy can't be destroyed. Okay, I believe that our energy goes back into the cosmos. The same way with everything. When a planet dies, where does all that energy go? Back into the cosmos. That's what I believe happens. I don't believe that some soul lifts and flies away and that we can live separate of our body. Now, do I know this 100%? Of course not. I would never purport to know anything 100%. And that is one of the key things that atheism has over religion. The person that reports to know the truth beyond the shadow of a doubt 100%, like nothing can tell you different, that right there is the man that you look at and say he's lying. Okay, because there is absolutely nothing. There is nothing that we can know 100%. I will never say that I know something. There's nothing you can tell me otherwise. Okay, that's just not the scientific mindset. You don't go in thinking something like that. You constantly have to have your mind open to new ideas. It's mandatory. Okay, if you were going to understand the planet that we live on, if we're going to understand the galaxy that we live in, if we're going to understand the universe that our galaxy is in, we first need to open up our minds. Hands down. You cannot automatically assume that you know something because people thought Newton, hands down, that's fucking brilliant. He had gravity down pat. He had it. And then Einstein came along. Boom. Now he's right. Okay? It may not happen every single day. Every single day our entire worldview doesn't get flipped the fucking upside down, right? But there are times when something that you think is truth, something that you hold to be true, will just be completely shattered. You're going to have evidence like, shit, I was wrong this entire time. It may be something as simple as trusting someone. Like you knew for a fact, beyond the shadow of a doubt, that you trusted this person. They would never do anything to fuck you over. Yet at the end of the day, they did. Okay? Like that right there. Shit happens. And that's just a personal level. But every day we get new scientific information. It might not all be ridiculously groundbreaking, but every day new information. We're finding out new things. We're taking one step closer to understanding our planet and our universe. And with a religious mindset, especially one as limited as creationism. Yeah, and when I talk about religion, I'm mostly referring to the Judeo-Christian. Okay. Because that's what I know personally. I haven't read the Quran. I've read the Bible. I know what's in the Bible. I haven't personally read the Quran. Know a little bit about Mormonism. I've read a little bit of their books. And then the other religions I know from what I learned in school. Extra reading that I picked up here and there. So when I speak, I'm mostly speaking about the Judeo-Christian God, Yahweh. Alright, and it's just believing in something like that, just automatically turning and, God did it. where's your sense of curiosity? Where's that little voice inside you that says, that's not a real answer. It's just not. I really want to know. I really want to know what happened. I don't want to just read this centuries-old book that purports to know things and say, you know what? They probably got it right. I'm done. It's lazy. That's what it is. It's lazy. As much intelligence and reason or logic that you want to try and throw at your religion, this is in general, you can't, okay? Because it's not logical. It's not a reasonable assumption. Okay, at the end of the day, it's just an imaginary friend, or friends depending on your religion, that you can blame things on, that you can rely on to help you in times of need, that you can have comfort you when you're sad, lonely, etc. Something that gives you a connection with someone else. That's what religion is. It's a crutch. That's really the only way that I can explain it. It's a crutch. And for someone I just can't believe that while someone holds on to a belief as silly as that they can say with any conviction that they have an ounce of intelligence. I can't. You need to get past that.